Hi. Um, this morning I thought I would do a video on shame. And that's partly because lots of people that I see in my practice are being motivated by things that actually they don't really understand as shame. But when people want to keep secrets, when they feel judged, when they have been silenced or are silencing themselves about things, they're not doing that because they're excited about those things usually. There's something about feeling embarrassed or humiliation or fear of punishment or fear of judgment, and that's why we keep them sort of locked in. They come out in our behaviours. One of the first things is understanding whether or not, if you are carrying shame, does that shame belong to you? Is it something that you have done or not done, which has caused you to feel that you've done wrong, and or that makes you a bad person because you've done that or not done that? Or are you carrying shame on someone else's behalf, um, or were you an observer to something that happened which was shameful? So understanding the difference between those two things is really important. And the shame that you're carrying on someone else's behalf was usually accompanied by them telling you that it had to be a secret, or that what happens in the family stays in the family, or if you dare tell anybody about this. It might not even have been articulated, but you would be able to sense it. So children might not have had the opportunity for that to, be understood by them, but a look can make a child understand. So, and most of us will have some experience of that. So are you feeling ashamed about something that you did or didn't do, or are you carrying someone else's shame or because of something that they did or didn't do that you were an observer to or the recipient of? So having that awareness is important. To take shame from the body is really difficult. And it does reside in your body at a cellular level. It doesn't, it gets locked in. Secrecy and silence, I've talked about this elsewhere. It's a form of self-harm, and it is really insidious. Because you do hold, your body actually holds it, and finding ways of releasing that. There's stuff on the internet that's about doing somatic work, and you might even be able to find a practitioner. I'm obviously just doing psychoeducation, which is a way to highlight things that you might be carrying or you might not quite be understanding. And it's just sort of giving you an opening to go and find out more information about it. But anyway, it's shame is a big driver. If you understand that, and you can then begin to unpack that, you can take the power out of it by understanding that something is or isn't your own, that in itself. But it's a baby steps kind of process, and it is a process. So understanding that, it's in the same genre as guilt. Guilt is a kind of, they're both fear-based negative drivers. They're not nourishing drivers. So if we can actually begin to unpack them, that's a really helpful thing to do. There was one other thing that I wanted to just sort of talk about, and that is that there's lots of voices in our heads which are that we think are our own voices, but actually have their roots somewhere else, but we perpetuate them. We kind of use them as if they are our own voices, our own standards, and often they're not, they're transgenerational, and that means that they've happened somewhere else, either at home or in school or in the workplace, and you have kind of adopted that because you believe that it's the right way to be in that situation, and it's probably been a survival tool for you to do that. So think about it, and if you have got work to do on it, then it's good work to do if you can, because it does release your body. That's one of the most important things to come to terms with, if you're beginning to do the self-knowledge work. You know, and self-knowledge is about sort of deconstructing stuff. And if there is a voice in your head, and there could well be a voice in your head, and if you've got this far in my video, then well done, because actually our voices do contradict all that stuff, this stuff. They want to say, oh, that's a load of shite, that's absolute baloney, or whatever. How could that possibly be motivating me? You know, once you actually start to deconstruct it, you'll feel different. And that's the evidence. That may be, and hopefully that's the evidence that you need, is that some change happens either in your head, your attitude, your behaviour, or your body. It's really important, this work, but you don't have to believe me. Do it.